SolidWorks 2004 introduces SolidWorks Routing. SolidWorks Routing allows users to design piping, flexible tubing, and rigid tubing around SolidWorks assemblies. We're going to go ahead and start a route for a new copper rigid tube. We specify in the property manager the minimum bend allowance so that our tubes will be manufacturable. SolidWorks Routing uses the 3D Sketcher in SolidWorks. The 3D Sketcher is a very intuitive way to route tubes through a design. You see the cursor feedback as the user sketches, getting feedback of both the direction and the distance as they go. Changing directions is as easy as hitting the tab key to define the orientation of the design. It's very intuitive as you design your routes to start at one end, get through the route, and then start a route at the destination. This allows you to lay out how you want the beginning and ends to look, and then simply connect them in the middle. Using a sketch line, we can easily connect these two segments in order to complete our route. Because SolidWorks Routing is sketch space, it's very easy to make changes simply by dragging and dropping. You can reorient the route and change the tube. SolidWorks standard sketch relationships are available. To add design intent, in this case we'll add a parallel relationship in order to keep all our bends at 90 degrees. The benefit of designing with SolidWorks Routing at the assembly level is capturing design intent. We're going to dimension off the edge of the frame of our assembly in order to put a hanger in later. If we want to add additional fittings, we simply split the tube. And from our SolidWorks feature palette, our library of components, we're able to drag and drop tube-specific components into our assembly. They're very easy to orient, and then only the correct list of sizes are presented to the user. Once we've added fittings, we can continue to route off in new directions. You can see as the user routes how the cursor feedback makes it extremely easy to see where you are in your assembly and get precise location control over your location. Again, we'll start from the other end as well, and using standard dimensioning tools in SolidWorks, we can control how far we run off of our manifold. And just as we did before, we'll use the standard sketch line to connect this segment of the route as well. At this point, we're done with the routing of our rigid tubes in SolidWorks. So we'll go ahead and actually save off our tubes as individual SolidWorks part files. Now, one of the great things about SolidWorks Routing is it's giving us information necessary for manufacturing. You will see in the feature manager that we actually indicate the length of each tube right on the screen for the user. SolidWorks Routing also provides the capability to generate the bend information for rigid tubing. You can see we have some various options. We're going to do a fully interactive HTML report representing all the necessary manufacturing information for our rigid tubing. Now let's take a look at that manufacturing information generated by SolidWorks Routing. You can see everything's placed in a nice HTML-based report. All our feed information as well as bend information can be formatted in the HTML format or into a text file. SolidWorks Routing generates screen captures or SolidWorks e-drawings in order to help the manufacturer visualize the tube that they are creating. You can see how SolidWorks Routing really closes the loop between design and manufacturing. Now in this case, we want to connect our second manifold to our cylinder using a flexible hose. So we'll go ahead and create a flexible route in this case. SolidWorks ships with different types of tubes. In this case, we're going to choose a rubber tube. Now, just as before, SolidWorks starts the route in the 3D sketcher. In this case, we're just going to drag out the lines, not worry about dimensions from the start and end point of the route. Now, using the fit spline in SolidWorks, we can auto-route the rest of the design for our flexible tube. This saves users an immense amount of time when laying tubes out and gives them a best fit solution for their design. And very quickly and easily, we've generated that flexible hose for use in our assembly. Now, one thing that's always constant in design, and that's change. SolidWorks Routing captures design intent. And the most powerful portion of this is the ability to handle change. When your assembly changes, all your tubes need to update. We're going to change the distance made, changing the position of the manifold in the assembly. Maybe we need to move it down for clearance purposes. As we make this change and update our assembly, notice SolidWorks Routing updates all the rigid and flexible tubes for us. This is extremely powerful, knowing that the system will take care of design changes for you.